Have you ever had a boss who just seemed to have it out for you? I'm talking about the kind of boss who makes your work life a living nightmare. Well, I had one, and let me tell you, the story of how karma caught up with him is one for the books. It all started when I joined this new company. I was so excited. The job was a step up, the team seemed great, and I was ready to give it my all. My direct supervisor was a guy named Mark. On the surface, he was charming, the kind of guy who laughs at all the senior management's jokes. But with me, from day one, it was different. During my first week, he'd assign me tasks with zero instruction and then publicly criticize me in team meetings when I didn't do them exactly his way. He'd forget to invite me to important project kickoffs, leaving me scrambling to catch up. He'd praise my colleagues for ideas that I had literally brought up the day before. It was subtle at first, just little things that made me question myself. Am I being too sensitive? Am I not good enough for this role? But then it escalated. He started micromanaging every single thing I did. I'd send him a draft of an email, and he'd rewrite the entire thing, changing hi to hello. He'd stand over my shoulder while I was working, breathing down my neck. He'd call me out in front of everyone for tiny, insignificant mistakes, making a huge spectacle of it. It was classic bullying, and it was soul-crushing. My confidence plummeted. I started dreading Mondays. I felt anxious all the time, even on weekends, just thinking about having to face him. I tried to handle it professionally. I requested a one-on-one meeting to better understand his expectations. I tried to build a rapport, asking about his weekend, complimenting a project he led. But nothing worked. He just saw it as a weakness. In our meeting, he told me I was underperforming and that I needed to step up my game. He completely gaslit me, making it seem like I was the problem. The breaking point came during a major client presentation. I had worked on my part of the presentation for weeks, pulling all-nighters to make sure it was perfect. I was actually proud of it. 10 minutes before the meeting, Mark pulled me aside and said, "I've made some last-minute adjustments. I'll be presenting your slides." I was speechless. And then I had to sit there, in a room full of senior executives and the client, while he presented my work as his own. He even fumbled through some of the data because he hadn't done the research. But of course, he took all the credit when the client was impressed. I felt so defeated. I went to HR, but they were useless. They said it was a personality clash and suggested I try harder to get along with him. I felt completely alone and trapped. I started looking for other jobs, but my confidence was so shot that I was bombing interviews. I truly felt like I was at rock bottom. And then, one glorious Tuesday morning, the universe decided to intervene. An email landed in everyone's inbox from the CEO. It was an announcement about a big company-wide restructuring. They were streamlining departments to improve efficiency. And guess who was being made redundant? Yep, Mark. The official reason was restructuring, but the office gossip was way juicier. Apparently, the CEO had been in that client meeting where Mark presented my work. The CEO, who actually knew the project details, had asked Mark a few follow-up questions afterward. Mark, of course, couldn't answer them properly. The CEO got suspicious. He started digging. He spoke to a few other people on the team, and slowly, the truth about Marky's management style and his habit of taking credit for others' work came to light. He wasn't just a bully. He was incompetent. The restructuring was just the perfect excuse to get rid of him. The day he cleared out his desk was surreal. He didn't make eye contact with anyone. The man who had been so loud and arrogant was suddenly small and quiet. He just packed his little box of personal items and was escorted out by security. The moment the elevator doors closed behind him, the entire office seemed to breathe a collective sigh of relief. It was like a dark cloud had finally lifted. A few weeks later, I was promoted into a new role, a role that Mark had actually been gunning for. The new head of department, who had been the CEO's right-hand woman, called me into her office. She told me she had heard about what happened and was impressed with my resilience and the quality of my work, despite the difficult circumstances. She said she wanted people with integrity on her team. It was the ultimate validation. Not only was the bully gone, but my hard work was finally being recognized. My confidence came roaring back. I started enjoying my job again, collaborating with my amazing colleagues, and leading projects I was passionate about. The work environment became so much more positive and productive without his toxic energy. So, why am I sharing this story? Because if you're in a similar situation, I want you to know you're not alone, and it's not your fault. Toxic bosses can make you question your own worth, but their behavior is a reflection of them, not you. Sometimes you have to play the long game. Keep doing good work, document everything, and trust that in the end, karma, or just good old corporate justice, will find a way. It might not always be as dramatic as my story, but toxicity rarely sustains itself. People like Mark eventually get exposed. The best revenge is not stooping to their level, but outlasting them and thriving once they're gone. It's about protecting your mental health and remembering your value, even when someone is trying their hardest to make you forget it. If you're dealing with a tough situation at work, remember that there are resources available. Talking to a trusted friend, a mentor, or a mental health professional can make a world of difference. Your well-being is the most important thing. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever had a crazy boss experience, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. See you next time.